Hey guys, we're here for me to say my top 10 anime moments of 2022. I plan on watching a lot more anime next year, but I do want to say that I'm sorry if I left any new anime out for this year for the sake of my list, because my list is going to be a lot of anime that are big, that got either seasons, movies, they're not, and a lot, like, you're not going to see a lot of the new season anime that aired this year for spring, summer, fall. So I apologize for that already, but it's going to be a list of some of the more mainstream and well-known anime, just because that's what I keep up with the most. I am gonna make time to be able to catch up to those really good new season anime that I missed this year, but that's just a side note, just so y'all don't judge my list too hard. I haven't seen Vivi, I haven't seen Licorice Recoil, I haven't seen there's so much I missed. So I know those, at least from hearing about it, that they're good. So please just bear with my list. I want to put my list out there. It's my opinion, also from what I've watched all year. So let's get started with my top 10 anime moments of 2022. If you haven't watched any of these series or seasons that I am mentioning right now, you might want to hop off the video, because this is going to be a spoiler talk kind of video. It's not spoiler free, because I got to tell you why I enjoyed these moments. So if you haven't watched it, drop the like and then just dip. First on the list, number 10. We're gonna go from 10 to 1 up. Number 10 on the list for me is going to be Dabi's Dance in My Hero Academia Season 6. I'm an anime only for My Hero, so I try to be patient. We don't talk about Season 5, but Dabi's Dance really just brought everything that I had built up from Season 2 forward, and I'm pretty sure it happened for a lot of us. I'm pretty sure people were looking at Dabi anime only like, hey, wait a second, his quirk is fire, but it's blue. Like, they aren't just gonna brush that off. But for me, at least, I had like a feeling, because I was like, Todoroki, Endeavor, bro, like, those are the only two fire users we know. I don't care who else can use fire. When Dabi was introduced, I was like, bro, that's sus. He's got to be related to them somehow. So of course, years go by, and then we watch this, and just the way it was executed was so well done. Like, it gave me some Joker flashes, like the way he, was sitting on the couch getting aired in the TV and just telling everybody and he enjoyed it. That's the thing. He enjoyed being chaotic. He enjoyed putting Endeavor under the bus, having people distrust him, putting out the truth for how Endeavor, treated him. Get back, Dabi's Dance was done so perfectly for his character, I think, because we didn't even know a lot about him, and it showed us how chaotic he was as a character, how internally he was always thinking of Endeavor. And I just love that they incorporated the dance moves. When he actually did one of Endeavor's moves, I was going crazy. I'm gonna put in reaction videos for each of these as I talk about them, but I went crazy when he said prominence burn. Oh my gosh, and the stance he took when he was going at it, Endeavor jumping off Gigantomachia. It was just perfectly done. One of my favorite moments of not only My Hero but anime as a whole, is one of the more recent ones. So I was just happy to see that Dabi revealed who he truly was, because I was suspect. I was like, and they got a sibling who was missing, who's supposedly dead? Yeah, alright. Number 9 anime moment for me is going to come from the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero animated movie. That movie was amazing. I went to watch it like maybe 4 times in theater. Each time was amazing. It gave me chills every time. and then I watched it again when it came out on Crunchyroll. So my favorite moment from this movie is the Gojo versus Miguel fight. If y'all watched this fight in theater, it went absolutely bonkers. Granted, it wasn't like a whole, 5-minute long fight. It was maybe like a minute and a half. But when Gojo started throwing those hands, I legit contemplated what I was watching. I was like, they really did that. Like, we ain't seen Gojo throw hands like that. Like, just back to back, boxer. I don't even know if you can compare it to a boxer. He was just really, really fast jabs. And I loved the audience reactions because it was all part of the experience. But like, that's what part of it, what gave me chills too. I was just like, this dude's going crazy. And of course, Mappa their action is untouched. Like, the way they do battles and fights is amazing. So Gojo versus Miguel was different. On my top anime moments of 2022 list is also going to come from an anime movie. Y'all can already guess the other anime movie that came out this year was One Piece Film Red. And that movie I really, really enjoyed. Worth the hype. The build up for the story was insane. Y'all saw the review video, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But my favorite moment from this movie, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the movie, is when Luffy and Shanks team up. And not just him and Shanks, but Shanks' crew and Luffy's crew all together. Because if you were watching, well, y'all were watching it, when they were in the different dimensions, each Straw Hat synced up to a member of the Shanks crew. So I thought that was awesome. I thought it was dope how Usopp got to team up with his dad. He synced up with his dad. There was a lot of other like parallels there, and it's basically telling you the parallel that the Straw Hats are parallel of Shanks' crew, given that Shanks did give Luffy the Straw Hat, which I just love because it was like they were working together, but Luffy still never met Shanks. Like, he still never said, hey, Shanks, because he's not supposed to see him yet. Because that was part of Shanks' thing. He was like, I'll see you when you become more powerful or when you become a warlord. It was something along those lines, but they kept that part of the movie so, like, in line with the actual story that I really appreciated it. I was like, yo, Luffy's not supposed to see Shanks yet. So they really didn't have him meet Shanks, but they still, worked together to fight this the end boss. When Luffy started fighting with Shanks in sync, I was going nuts because it was like they're working together but they can't see each other, they haven't met. But yeah, when Shanks, seeing just Shanks on screen was amazing because we don't get much of him, and seeing him fight was even better. Seeing Luffy and Shanks in sync, and Luffy going in sync, because he didn't just go Gear 5th, he went Gear 4 Snake Man, he went like, oh my gosh, and Snake Man is probably one of my best, like my favorite forms from Luffy. So he went from Snake Man to Luffy Gear 5th, and it was just a little hint of Gear 5th, but it was enough to be in my favorite because the animation for that fight was so sick. The way they lined it up, the parallels, it was just so well done, well composed. And the last attack was such a treat for One Piece fans. The final attack with Luffy and Shanks working together. Number 7 on my top anime moment of the year is going to be one of the more recent animes from this season that actually just completed entirely. Mob Psycho 100. And this moment is Dimple versus Psycho Helmet. Bro, when I tell you I didn't expect this at all, I really didn't. I'm pretty sure nobody expected this to happen at all, but for Dimple to make up with, Mob, it was awesome nonetheless to see that Dimple was standing up and protecting Mob, and he was literally guiding him out of this tree because he knew he had no magic left. And with Psycho Helmet still, like, being his own entity, having magic, all the magic that he sucked from Mob, bro, I was fearing dude's life. I was fearing for Dimple and for Mob because I was like, yo, Mob's got nothing right now. He's out of juice. So the fact that he was guiding Mob this entire time while trying to fight off Psycho Helmet really, really touched my heart, given how Mob was even so kind and warm to Dimple when fighting him. He wasn't even fighting him. He was just taking hits from Dimple until they got to talk one-on-one, like like boys. So when he tells Mob to go out, I thought that was like, I think I was legit about to cry. I actually, you know, this is from here on out, I'll have reactions to post in here. But I was legit about to cry because the animation for Psycho Helmet versus Dimple was amazing. God Dimple, my fault, God Dimple. It was amazing, and I think Bones did better animation in Mob Psycho 100 Season 3 than they did in My Hero, in my opinion. But that fight in particular takes like the cake for everything. Honestly, with the series being done now, it was hard to say that Dimple versus Psycho Helmet beat the moment, the final moment for Mob in Mob Psycho 100. Y'all are gonna hate me for it, but I really enjoyed the ending for Mob Psycho 100. I still gotta edit the video. That's probably why I can't even, you know, put a reaction out. But yeah, Dimple versus Psycho Helmet was so well animated. Then when he started flying in the sky, you saw different colors of the magic, all the all the psychic powers just going off, and Dimple turning up to protect his boy Mob versus Psycho Helmet. It was just amazing, and it really touched my heart, because you know, you don't get that feeling of, hey, he'll be okay. You know he's gonna get washed because he's not making a dent. You can tell he's doing his best, but he's not making a dent with how much psychic powers Psycho Helmet got from Mob protecting his boy. The animation for the fight was so sick, and then the episode ended with Mob crying and not remembering what was wrong. It touched my heart so much. 6, Himeno's sacrifice. Number 6 was really hard because I wanted to put this one much higher, but I had to remember all the anime we got from the beginning of the year too, and there's only maybe 3 or 4 anime that go above Chainsaw Man moments, but one of my favorite Chainsaw Man moments and one of my favorite moments for anime in the year were when Himeno sacrifices herself to protect Aki, to protect Denji against the Katana Devil, and I don't even remember what devil this girl was in the red hoodie, but her sacrifice was done so much justice in the anime, and it's also the first moment in the story as a whole in which things shift from a kind of a gag feel, you know? You saw action, gore, blood, nudity. This is the first moment in the manga story where I felt things shift into a more serious tone. So this is probably why it was one of my more favorite anime moments of the year. But Mappa also, the angles that Mappa animates in are so dynamic, it's so engaging, and just to see how they brought these panels to life from the manga was amazing. You know, Himeno getting Ghost, all the hands coming out, and you know, us zooming back while we see these hands come out, the soundtrack, all of this is happening. You gradually seeing Himeno's body parts disappearing as she's fighting for her life, protecting Aki, her calling to Aki at the end to tell him to stay alive. Like, everything about how they executed this moment in the manga, or in the anime, was beautifully done. It was a masterpiece. That's one of many of the great moments in the series that they done justice with this anime. But this one really touched me the most. It was so nice to see, honestly, all the animation from Katana Man charging up and actually getting Aki wounded to, you know, having her last words, her last breath, and just seeing how the episode ended too, with all her clothes just dropping to the floor. And I was like, you know, Himeno, and obviously, you know, the whatever the snake that bit Ghost off or something like that. It was a really well executed moment, and it had to be on my list. I had to pick one from Chainsaw Man at least, because Chainsaw Man was probably one of the most complete anime of this season. Number 5, we're getting to the single digit, or the top 5 now. This is gonna be very controversial. Again, my opinion, so be quiet. Top anime moment of this year is gonna be when Zeke catches Aaron's head in the rematch between, not even rematch, in the invasion of Marley on Parody for Attack on Titan final season part 2. This part was like, the whole season was crazy, let me tell you. Like, I'm pretty sure y'all know if y'all have been watching it, which hopefully you have, so that you're not letting me spoil you, right? Right, okay. I was screaming, the moment was wild, especially when they had freeze frames of every other part, every other battle going on. You saw Mikasa and Armin versus Peak. You saw all the other soldiers trying to, I don't know, there was just a lot going on, panning. Then it zooms in, you see Aaron's head flying, and you're like, is the series over? No. You see Odell Beckham, Zeke Yeager catch Aaron's head, and that's what triggers everything to go forward from there. I thought that was just magic. It was magic, because my reaction, I was not expecting that. I don't think anybody was. The way Isayama is crazy. Isayama is so crazy, because how do you even think of these things? Like, it's just wild. It was so engaging how Mappa executed the moment. I never read the manga, but they blew it out of the water. And then, you get the parallel of Zeke and Aaron before the attack, where he threw the baseball, and Aaron didn't catch it. And then you get it back here, you line it up, and then Zeke caught it. Like, masterfully done. And this is not the only Attack on Titan moment in my favorite anime list. Thing that could follow that up in the same series, or staying in the same series, is Aaron's Uno reverse card. Is when Aaron surprises everybody. I just loved the moment, the build up going, because you could feel something was off. You saw how Aaron was looking as Zeke was talking through the memories of their dad Grisha. You saw Aaron standing in a corner. You saw him just being mad silent. I was like, something's not adding up right now. And when you actually figure out, it's so much crazier, because we were looking at the point of view from Aaron the entire time, and Zeke wasn't even understanding. He was like, wait, we're not looking at these memories from our dad's point of view, like near the end, obviously. And then, obviously we get through all the memories. Aaron's still very vague, and then you see the final reveal when he talks to Grisha. He's like, yo, make sure you don't let them kids survive, alright? We came here to do something. Now you're gonna finish it. All up in his ear, and Grisha's like, okay. And like, literally driving him crazy, but like, it's just, the story is insane, because at this point, everything makes sense. Aaron was the source of every issue, every part of the story up till now, and this was the moment that set it in stone. And it was just, that's the only thing that could have been crazier to me than the one-handed catch, was this huge reveal of Aaron being the cause of his own grief, really, if you think about it. Like, it was the start and most likely will be the finish of his own story. I've reached top 3 territory. We are at my top 3 anime moments of 2022. Very, very tough list, let me tell you. Very tough list to, Before I get to number 1, I'm gonna give you my honorable mention, but we're not in there yet. So, number 3 of my top 10 anime moments of the year is going to be Luffy Red Rock versus Kaido. This moment, One Piece is goated already, y'all know. This moment was wild for me, because it was built up for so long since Luffy took that first L, and then he started learning, the Riwo going through his hand. And this episode was just so good, because the whole battle was fire. And you see Big Mom and Kaido just the way they animated this, Toei, good stuff. Good stuff, because it was amazing. The colors were beautiful, everything looked amazing. The scene, the use of blur, you saw freaking what's his name? Kinemon on the floor, bleeding, bloodied up, Luffy taking notice, and then don't even care about the warlords, just walking up like nothing, and then just triggers it. Luffy bounces up, bro, goes Red Rock, and I'm like, Red what? You've never done this before, Luffy. You've never done this move before. None of us have seen it. Talking about Red Rock like we know what that is. Like, he pulled that out and I was lit, because I was like, Kinemon and his samurai couldn't even touch Kaido like that, and Luffy just came in and did damage immediately. It was one of my hypest moments of this year, and it just can't be replicated in any other anime. Like, there's only few anime that can get up to that level, and you know, it was amazing. And literally, Wano has been amazing. Thank you, Toei. This animation has been amazing. I just hope they stick with this the entire way through, even after Wano. Luffy's Red Rock versus Kaido had me hype as heck. That's gonna be my number 3. I can't count. My number 3 moment. Now, number 2 and number 1, it was extremely hard to pick and put one over the other. So, I'm gonna just say it now. Either one of these could have been number 1. My number 2 top anime moment of 2022 is going to be Yamamoto versus Yhwach, Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. This moment absolutely blew my mind. I didn't think anything could beat the moments that I had already discussed earlier in the video. I didn't think. And then the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War dropped like 5 moments that could have been in this list. I had to pick one though. I had to pick one. I usually get for animation, and I'm dead telling y'all, this moment needs an award or something, because this fight was absolutely insane. Aside from the result of it, they really hyped it. They built it up, and the music, oh my gosh, the music, the buddy that stands up against him. That's why I think Kubo did that, because Kubo's like, I think I made him a little too strong. Let's have him die to the Stern Ritter. Not the Stern Ritter, but, you know, die to the real Yhwach, who was just waiting till he killed his the Stern Ritter that was posing as Yhwach. But the animation for the fire, I need to know who did that, because that was not ungodly. It was holy. This was a work of art. This was divine. Like, the fire animation was so insane. And just the animation as a whole was insane. The fighting animation. Who's at Pierrot doing this that isn't doing it for Naruto? I need to. And Yamamoto was so good. I really wanted to make it my number 1 because I was hyped with the soundtrack. It felt like a really complete hype battle. And just fire animation, colors used. When Yamamoto first gets his sword charred, I was like, this is nuts. The darkness all going into light, getting absorbed into its charred sword, the spark of his sword, you know, doing that, and then blowing a crater into the earth. Like, different. I never thought Studio Pierrot would be able to do something like this, but they have, and it might explain some of the lesser quality we've gotten on anime like Black Clover, Boruto, like 10 years in the making this comeback. And yeah, Bleach is back. Before I tell y'all my number 1, you know what's crazy? My number 1 stood strong since the beginning of the year, and I knew it was going to be my number 1 this entire time. It really had to take something crazier than this to beat out my number 1. But before I get to that, let me tell y'all my honorable mentions.
られた。ただ体が勝手に動いてた。
Number 1 anime moment of 2022. Drum roll, drum roll. I don't know if y'all can hear it. My number one anime moment of 2022. It was close. Bleach, Attack on Titan had to have been Demon Slayer Season 2. I would say just Tengen and Tanjiro versus Gyutaro, but literally that entire fight lasted like 5-6 episodes, like the back half of the Season 2. It was so crazy that every episode actually had me dropping my jaw, had me freaking out, had me yelling. Like, when I can't even pick a singular moment, but there were so many great moments about this arc that Tengen and Tanjiro versus Gyutaro becomes general. You have Zenitsu versus Daki in those late stages. You have Inosuke going down, seemingly dying. You have Inosuke also in the mix to defeat Daki. You have all three of them working together to defeat Daki. You have Tanjiro in the fire of this entire scene where Daki explodes and everything seems lost. You know, Inosuke's down, Zenitsu's reaching out for a falling Tanjiro. You have Gyutaro coming up to him and asking him to be a demon. You have his last second efforts to, bro, there's so much about this season that was great and is honestly one of the greatest seasons of anime I think I've ever watched. And I'ma hype it, I don't care, it's my opinion. But regardless of how basic the storytelling was, I don't know how to say this, how they composed the fight in the anime, how Ufotable composed it with the right music, the perfect scenes, I can't put it into words. Ufotable is insane, and just the fact that they made such a masterful animated sequence of fights in one season. Tanjiro turning up. Tanjiro, first of all, getting bloodied-eyed and turning up on Daki, getting his flame sword, not even breathing. Then him turning up when, Tengen goes down with poison and he's stopping the poison from entering his heart like a true shinobi would. I can't put it into words. Like, I'm going to put as much as the reaction content on here as I can so y'all can just see it. This season as a whole was amazing. Gyutaro versus Tengen and Tanjiro versus Gyutaro had to have just been the icing on the cake. And then, oh my gosh, it was just so amazing. It was so amazing. I really wish I could watch it for the first time again, because every part of this season 2 of Demon Slayer, was just incredible. I hope y'all enjoyed my list. Again, it was my opinion. Didn't want to spoiler free it because I wanted to talk about these things, how I actually felt. This is my number 1. This is my opinion. If you don't agree, I'd honestly love to hear your guys' favorite in the comments below. Or you could just message me, DM me, text me. I want to know what your guys' favorite moments of anime in 2022 were. Again, I left out a lot because these are out of the ones that I've watched. I have already mentioned some of the ones that I haven't watched, but I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Hopefully I can get it out by New Year, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. I appreciate all of you for sitting through this whole video. I don't know how long it'll be, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hope y'all enjoyed my opinion, me freaking out over anime. I really just wanted to make this list though, and to make this video. We'll see if I can get it going. Again, hope y'all enjoyed the video. With that, hope y'all drink your water, get your sleep, eat enough. With that, I'm a peace out. See y'all.